Now that we're finished with our room, I'm going to go ahead and build my reloading bench. That was kind of the intent for the whole project, was to build a weatherproof room that I could come out and reload and piddle around during the winter time. So I'm going to try to get a video of the process today, and we'll see how it goes. I just want to try to keep it short and to the point, but this is a design I saw on YouTube. It's really sturdy, and I think if it comes off like I hope, it's going to be a really, really nice reloading bench. So here we go. For the foundation of the reloading bench, I'm going to use 4x4 posts. I've cut these each to 7 feet so that they fit in my room. The ceiling's only a little taller than 7 feet, but those are going to be the corners. And one of the things I saw on the YouTube video is that they use these, they call them handy ties or handy hangers or whatever. Basically what they are is they are, corner supports that you screw in, and that you anchor it into the post, and then you put your 2x6s for your frame on the two wings. So that's what we'll use, and then we're going to use these floor joist hangers, kind of like what I used on the floor of my room for the braces, and I'll show you all that as we go along. So what I've basically done, I've gone ahead and pre-cut all my lumber. I've got two 2x6s cut to 100 inches, and so with the 4x4s on either end, that's going to give me just enough room to fit in between the window here and the light switch by the door over on this end. So that was my parameters. And then I've got the two crossboards cut at 20 inches, so we're going to be about 24 inches, maybe a little bit more in depth for the bench. All right, well, you see there's a hole in this one. This was from the earlier false start I had with the floor design. Now I was going to use these as part of the original floor design. It just didn't work out, so that's what these holes are for. It's not going to really affect anything on the post, so I just got to measure the rest of them, and then we'll go to the next step. And we'll take one of these handy hangers and slip it into the post. You want the flat side on the top. That's where you're actually going to line up with your mark. And you want to make sure that it's even with the mark there. And to secure everything, I'm using, number 3 construction, or actually number 9, 3-inch construction screws that have the star heads. Alright, I'm just going to finish screwing the rest of them in and show you when I'm done. So, okay, I've got all 4 of the strong ties installed now. One of the neat things about these strong ties is they, in addition to the fact that there's 5 screws on each side, the screw holes are staggered on each side so that you don't bump into the screw as you're running it through, which is kind of nice. And on this side, you'll notice that, you know, there's some more screw holes here, which we'll have to, you know, deal with in a minute, but I left those open for now because, you know, once I put the 2x6s in here, there's a little bit of flexibility. I'm going to want to be able to push this up and make it flush, so we'll wait and screw those in here in a bit. I'm going to install my 2x6 cross braces, and this is going to be a little tricky because I only got 2 hands, so just bear with me. Now these, I'm going to screw these in with 1 1/4 inch number 8 screws, something a little different. You know, because I can't obviously put the 3-inch screws into that 2x6, so I've got some different screws here. It's basically the same thing, it's just a different gauge star head, and it's 1 1/4 inches instead of 3 inches. So just make sure we're good, nice and flush. I'm not going to screw them all in yet, just so make sure I've got it all flushed up the way I want. It looks pretty good on that side. Good. Okay, got the 2 inside cross braces. Now I've got to install the long outside braces. Well, I got basic frame built now. All I'm going to do next, I guess, is start laying out the planks on the top. Hopefully I can get the rest of that done today too. So far looking pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is install the cross braces. I've gone ahead and measured it out, and I'm going to put 3 cross braces that the planks are going to go over the top of. So we'll go ahead and install those. Alright, I measured it out at 24 inches in between here. So I've cut my 2x6 at 24 inches. And I marked my lines, you can see here, so I know where to center it up when I screw it in. You can use the same 3-inch screws I've been using. Just got to make sure I'm flush. Side, the other side. Let's do the other 2 now. Add 1 more screw on each end. It's probably overkill, but I bought these floor hanger joist to just to give it a little extra security. I waited to put these on last so that I know that I've got everything lined up the way I want it. I'm just going to use little 1 1/4 inch screws here. Everything's flushed up. Now, just get the screw right. Well, I've got the braces installed and it's really sturdy now. Everything looks pretty tight. So the next step is to lay the planks out across the top, and I'll show you that in a minute. Just want to shoot a close-up of the hangers and also these corner hangers. That's what it looks like on the back side. It's really sturdy. Okay, the next step is going to be, putting the planks on the top. And what I've done is I've drilled in a little piece of scrap wood on the corners on both sides. And what this is going to do is going to allow me to get my measurements, because what my plan is to have like a little bit of about 1.5 inches or so overlap on each end and also on the front. And so this is going to allow me to measure my length for the cut on the boards, and it's also going to help me measure the cut for the notch where the board is going to fit around the post. So if I do everything right, it should work out just fine. So we'll see. Okay, I made my measurement and I've determined that my decking boards need to be 110 inches long. And so that gives me, the overlap that I was hoping for here on both sides. So what that means is I'm going to have to measure back to make sure that I've got the right notch, which is 5 inches. So measure that there. And then basically I'm going to have to notch it 3.5 inches here. So that'll give me my notch. Let's take my speed square and square it off. Just got my 5.5 inch line there, and then this is my 3.5 inch line. So this is where I'm going to cut out right here. So this will be scrap, and then I'll cut the same out on both sides, and that'll be the notch for the first blank. This is a little bit of a tricky cut, so I'm just going to try to be careful here. Just a little bit past. And I'm going to flip it over in a second and cut the other side. So alright, got the first cut in. It's not the best cut in the world, but it works. And it's kind of what I was looking for. It's got the overlap, and it fits up in there good. It's flush in the back, so that's what I was trying to achieve. I just got to do the front and then lay out the rest of the planks. So this is going to be a little bit trickier here, because what I want is the inch overlap here, so that's going to be the 5 inches here. But I also want it to, the front of this, to overhang about 1 inch in the front. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to measure 5 inches here, and then the 3.5 for this plus 1 inch. So I'm going to have to measure 4.5 inches back here. So here we go. Here's 5, and then 4.5 from here. This is going to give me my approximately 1 inch overhang in the front. So it's 4.5 here. This is a lot trickier cut, so I've got to be really careful. Okay, that cut turned out better than the previous one, so I'm happy about that. And I got my real nice inch or so overhang in the front, and all I got to do now is just screw them down, and hopefully if I measured everything correctly, you know, I won't have to do any more cutting except for length, and that my 2x6s, you know, will fit perfectly in between those two that are already sitting there. So we're gonna find that out in just a second. Well, I reckon it's about as close as I can get it. I haven't screwed the deck down, but it's pretty darn close. I think once I get the screws in and get it all, you know, tightened down, it'll be nice and flush and really sturdy. So far so good. I'm running out of battery, so I'm probably gonna wait and finish up this tomorrow, and you know, I'll show you the final results when I'm done. Well, I had to take a bit of a pause this afternoon. I ran out of screws, so we went to dinner in Lawrence, and while we were there, we stopped at Home Depot and got some more screws. So kind of in the final phase of the basic bench build, just laying the decking on top of the frame and screwing them in. So pretty straightforward, but it's going to take a little while because I'm putting 3 screws in every joist, and just making sure it's extra solid. So come on, Rex, let's go inside. It's day 2 on my reloading bench project, and the plan for today is to build a shelf up on the top and just maybe try to do a little bit of reinforcing and put up some pegboard and that sort of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. So far so good. So here we go. I've got the basic frame done. It's a little bit higher than I wanted, but I had to measure my shotgun shell reloader, and I had to be able to clear 38 inches to the bottom here. So I was going to originally put it down a little lower, but that's okay. I'm just going to store, you know, stuff that I won't use a lot up here, and you know, so it's not a big deal. But next is put some cross braces up through here, and then put the plywood on. Okay, I've got the braces in, and the next step is the plywood. Well, I'm done. It's a pretty neat weekend project. It turned out really nice. I still may do a few more little things here and there. I thought about putting some shelves on both of the ends. But right now what I'm planning to do is just bring all my reloading stuff and set it up from next door in the tack room and just kind of see how it all lays out and see what, you know, extra space, if any, I have. And then, you know, I'll decide later if I want to add shelves. But it turned out really nice. It's extremely sturdy and really, really heavy. So, which is kind of what I was going for. You know, you don't want to have any give or take whenever you're leveraging your, you know, your loading devices. So, so it turned out really good. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. So, out here.